This is our DT presentation titled Note to Self. Hello to the viewers. Our names are
Shefaa,
Ronald,
and Marisol. We are seniors at E3 Civic High. This year for our DT project, we decided to focus on mental health, specifically social anxiety in a classroom setting. We spent the past couple months researching the topic and coming up with a solution to better educate the public on the mental illness and ways to help those dealing with it. After much consideration and thought, we came up with our podcast, Note to Self, where we directed, filmed, and edited 3 episodes with the help of our mentor, Mo.
like we previously mentioned, our design thinking project is on social anxiety. Our challenge question that led us to our solution was that how might we support teachers so that they can help high school students reduce their social anxiety in class?
we never truly understood how big of an issue social anxiety was at our school until we asked students who attend E3 Civic High. We sent out a 10-question survey asking students general questions about the mental illness. The responses we got were shocking. Many students tend to deal with social anxiety and have expressed that they have had their emotions invalidated by teachers before. They also mentioned that many specific things at school make them anxious, like presentations and group work. They also included ways teachers could accommodate to their need while still giving them the adequate education that they deserve. They also said that dealing with social anxiety has prevented them from doing many things that are considered normal. For example, joining clubs and making friends is something that is very difficult to someone who struggles with social anxiety. Our group came to the conclusion that a great way to stop students from feeling invalidated by their teachers is by educating teachers on the mental illness.
This is a very important issue to address because school should be considered a safe space where people can be themselves freely while getting the education they need. It's hard to learn material in an environment where you feel uncomfortable, which is why teachers should do everything in their power to make sure that students feel heard and validated. Not only will this create a classroom environment where students will be able to perform their best academically and socially, but this would also allow teachers to create special bonds with their students, where students can openly express their emotions and concerns with their teachers.
Taking our data into consideration, we decided to come up with a solution that would allow teachers to not only learn about social anxiety, but to also hear from a student's perspective. We made a podcast titled Note to Self, where we filmed multiple episodes about the basics of social anxiety, debunking myths of social anxiety, stories about people who deal with the illness, and we even filmed a short episode filled with information to encourage students to listen to our podcast. Along with our podcast, we also created a website that includes the link to our podcast, who we are, and our mission statement. Here's a demo of what it would look like to browse our website and listen to our podcast.
For our competitors matrix, we decided to put up our podcast against 2 other solutions. Note to Self is easily accessible, while a student-led mental health group may not be because you may have to go to several meetings. Since both Note to Self and Therapy Chat are podcasts, they are both also private. However, the mental health group would not be, assuming that there would be multiple people at a meeting. Our podcast is personalized since it's coming from specific sources, and a student-led group may also be personalized since you're in person. However, Therapy Chat made by a therapist might be very general and basic. Note to Self and student-led groups are made and ran by students, but Therapy Chat is made by a licensed therapist.
There are many benefits of our podcast, but here are some of the top ones. Number 1, it's timely. You can listen to our podcast wherever and whenever you want, and it won't interfere with your busy schedule. Number 2, insider perspective. In our podcast, we include stories from real sources who get affected the most and who would benefit from this solution. Number 3, our podcast is free. You won't have to pay for this resource. And last but not least, it is entertaining. Listening to a podcast that includes all the data and research you need is a lot less time-consuming and boring than reading multiple research articles on your own. After working on this project for a year, we have acquired a lot of knowledge and we managed to learn a lot of things. Here are some of the things we've learned.
We learned that communication is very important in order to efficiently finish something as a team.
We also learned that podcasts are a very efficient way to learn something new.
And last but not least, we learned that teamwork makes the dream work. takes us to the end of our presentation. We hope you enjoyed and learned something new. Thank you.